Hey, this is Anthony with RevZilla. We're gonna watch, decide, and ride. Welcome to our detailed breakdown of the new LS2 Arrow Helmet, available at RevZilla.com. This is the top of the food chain, new for 2016 from LS2. This is the Arrow, and this is the fiberglass version. There's also a carbon fiber version that really basically 1.5 times the cost. You get into that $300–400 range, but for around the $200 mark, I am leading with the headline that LS2 has put together a race-grade helmet that is all steak, not a lot of sizzle, but if you want more bang for the buck than you were expecting from a premium attack the track scenario standpoint, and you're okay with a solid or a basic fast graphic, this is a rock-solid option. The fit, the finish, the performance really impressed us. Now, if we look at it, handful of colors, handful of solids, remember, comes in around the $200 mark. This is going to be 3 pounds, 10 ounces in its fiberglass form. So again, fiberglass composite shell, DOT, ECE rated. And as we walk through it, there are a ton of other bells and whistles. I will also say this, outside of my, I don't want to call it a gripe, but I mean, in this category, you're really comparing it up against something like the HJC FG17, which in my opinion has better graphics, and something like the Icon Armada, which also in the same category is going to be a mixture of sizzle and steak. I do think this is a bit more premium on the feature side of things, though, if you can make that trade-off. Really, my only nitpicks are around some of the issues with the cheek pad removal system, which isn't perfect, and when I get to the shield, I wish there were a couple more detents. But other than that, for where it's at price-wise, it's a lot of helmets. So, diving into fit really quickly, because this is something you immediately need to know and potentially stop watching this video. This is a long oval in its head shape. That is an outlier head shape. Most of the American market is going to be intermediate, slightly longer front to back, a head shape like mine. If we look at this helmet, it's long and thin, long and narrow. Some of the Icon helmets are going to have this fit shape. Some of something like the Arai Signet Q will have this fit shape, long and thin front to back. If you're around, forget about it. If you are going to be intermediate, it still might be too long for you. For those guys out there that have that long, narrow head shape, they're saying, thank you, LS2. You've made a premium helmet that serves my purposes and fits me now. Keep that in mind. Use a size chart. Remember, we'll ship for free over $39. What I really love is if you click our logo, subscribe to RevZilla on our YouTube channel, leave me your comments, your questions, your feedback on the new LS2 Arrow. So back into the top of the food chain from LS2. If we look at it, fiberglass composite design, 4 intakes, 4 exhausts. Now, the 4 intakes. The vent scheme's okay. We found it to be reasonably quiet and we thought it would work well when we tested it out. I will get into one of the things I like about the venting scheme here on the front. So it's actually dual mechanism. So up and down here on the chin, that's actually for the vent that vents to the shield. So again, it comes fog fighter ready, which is basically LS2's version of Pinlock. You can buy that separately, but you do have the ability to not only crack the vent with this center locking mechanism, you have a city position right like that, but you have the ability to open the vent and get venting or get air to the shield to defog it. What you also have the ability to do, if I put my finger under this, and when I take it apart, I'll show you, there's also a secondary mechanism on the inside of the chin bar that's going to actuate that vent right there. So again, to the face, to the shield, you have that 2 venting mechanism or 2 vent system, and then up top you're going to have your 2 chimneys. If I swirl it around, you're going to see big aerodynamic profile. It's nice. It's meant for the 3/4 of the tuck position. Again, this is the helmet for them to say, hey, ride aggressively, take it to the track. We've designed you to have your head down at speed. And if we look at the back, 2 exhausts up towards the top. They're passive Venturi exhaust. And then down towards the bottom, you're going to have winglet exhausts that are really going to help extract air from front to back. Now, if we come back to the shield mechanism, 3mm flat, optically correct race shield. Bravo LS2. I like that center locking mechanism. So if you're ambidextrous, you can crack your vent depending on how you want to do that with either hand. I like that as well. I'm going to call out my nitpick though. Notice it's spring loaded. That's great. And the spring loaded actually creates a great seal when you pull it down. But when you open it, I want a couple more detents. There's no detents there. LS2, you have a detent at the top, you have a city position at the bottom, and you have lock. I need a couple other detents in the mix. Again, surprising considering the amount of helmets you guys manufactured. You missed on that one. Now, looking at the seal is going to be solid. You can see the vents here right along the front on this breath guard, which is removable, that are going to vent up to the shield. And I will call out on the side here, very easy mechanism for unlocking. Normally a $200 helmet has a more finicky shield change mechanism. These are very simple. I was much better at it 5 minutes ago. Hold on, let me see. I'll snap it back in here. There we go. You can see how that works. Very, very simple. And I will also call out this triangular dot here. That is a reinforcement triangular bracket for where the chin straps attach. So again, they are increasing the surface area of that washer, so to speak, done in a triangular fashion to make sure that if you do get yourself into trouble, your chin strap's not going to pull out. Again, manufacturing upgrade. Now, if we take the lid, I'm going to grab my donut here, flip it on its side. Let's look at the neck roll, because this is where I started to have a little bit of an issue. It is an emergency cheek pad removal system, but you're not going to use that all the time. So let me show you how this works. To get the neck roll out, and this is one of my gripes, what you do is you unsnap the cheek pads and then you pull back on these bars, and the bar slides out here. Let me do it here in kind of real-time fashion. I don't want to break it. As you can see, it's not the most simple mechanism. You can see how that wire goes all the way around. So if you're the type of guy or gal that pulls your helmet apart, likes to run it underwater, likes to care and maintenance after every ride, it might get a little annoying that the way that you remove this is one continuous piece, which isn't as simple as some of the other manufacturers that are out there. I'll also say as we get in through here, I like the chin strap reinforcement, double D-ring, no surprises. The other thing that kind of gripes me a little bit is because it's long and narrow, and it is going to be that race fit, they would have had to have really thought long and hard about the speaker cutout for potentially a comm unit or a Bluetooth communicator. They didn't give you enough room. It's too shallow. Now there's a piece of plastic in there you can stick Velcro to, but if you have this helmet on, it's a race fit, and if that speaker is something like a Cena 20S that's going to be a little wider, you're going to feel that speaker. My opinion, you might not bug you as much as it might bug me, but again, you're going to have to do a little bit of jockeying and carving out if you want a deeper speaker pocket there. That would be my only real nitpick other than the neck roll itself. Now, we talked about the dual actuation on the chin vent. There it is right there, open and close. Breath go to your chin or your mouth itself, which I really dig. And the other thing I'm going to call out too here is if we look, big 10mm vent holes. Actually, I got to pull out my, didn't even pull out my comfort liner here, which is a rock solid comfort liner that attaches at the brow. You're going to see where that attaches right up front. So again, plastic on plastic means no pressure points for you. You can see there's not massive cutouts here. Again, it will breathe for you. I think they could have cut it out a little bit further. You do have wicking materials on the inside that are going to be more premium. They feel more like a higher end helmet. And then we look at the EPS itself. Big cutaways for venting. I could have done with a bigger channel scheme. But remember, I'm almost grading this helmet as if it was a $300 to $400 helmet, when in actuality it comes in around the $200 mark. So remember what I said, there's lots and lots of stake here. Sizzle factor, sexiest helmet I've ever seen? No, it's not. Graphics, the best graphics I've ever seen? No, they're not. If I was going to buy this helmet, I'd probably buy a basic solid color because it would just be consistent Batman style. But the feature set, it's way more stake than you typically get for around the $200 mark. So again, optimized for stake, not for sizzle. Rock solid helmet, long oval head shape. That is the big defining factor. If you're not long oval, stop watching and look for a different helmet. There are plenty of helmets that perform in a similar fashion. They're going to be intermediate, but that would be my recommendation here. Overall, we're impressed with the steps that LS2 is taking to push their top end. And remember, there's going to be the carbon fiber version of the Arrow as well. The next step in your journey is to click the info button on your desktop or mobile device. Visit the product detail page for the LS2 Arrow Carbon. Or Arrow rather. Read other rider reviews. You shouldn't just take my word for it. Remember, we'll ship for free over $39. And if you want to talk to a gear geek, see us at RevZilla.com or 877-792-9455. Thanks for watching our detailed breakdown. Remember, subscribe to us at RevZilla on our YouTube channel. Leave me your comments, your questions, your feedback, but more importantly, stay up to date with our opinion on the latest and greatest in the Moto universe. I'm Anthony. We'll see you next time.